Aloha and welcome to Ascension Alliance, Hawaii. Now for the past month, it sure has been a mega learning experience for me, going through that thing that I was going through that I posted in my last video. Being in excruciating pain 24/7 for just about an entire month. Now I'm still going through the healing process here. I'm healing up nicely, but now it's nerves coming down my arms here, because that particular thing that I had affects the nerves, and so for the time being I'm dealing with the nerves, so I'm not sure how long this will take. I'm not sure when it will go away. I'm just hoping for the best, doing whatever I can internally, externally, to help to flush out any type of toxins out of my physical body, as well as my spiritual body, emotional body, and mental body. Now, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things collapsing now in our world. There's a lot of things collapsing internally for each and every one of us. And truth be told, I strongly believe that a lot of things were collapsing within myself during that excruciating pain that I was going through, and navigating through all of that was it was very, very difficult for me, and to be able to move through such pain, it was like I turned into a wild, crazy person, because you just can't really do anything. And when you're used to always doing things and always getting things done, and chores and your work and everything like that, and that comes to a screeching halt, that makes things even more challenging, more difficult, especially for someone like me, which I'm really independent, and I like to always be active, always be busy in doing things, but it just hit me off guard. My immune system was pretty much shot, so I have been in this process throughout the entire month, rebuilding, recreating, perhaps reinventing my entire system here, as best as I can. And I've even lost weight during this time, which I wasn't even thinking about. It's like my body was adjusting to everything and readjusting, and communicating with me and telling me what it needed, what it didn't need. So throughout that month, there was a lot of readjustments going on, to the point where I just could not bring myself to eat anything sugary. My body just totally rejected any kind of sugar items. It was mostly fruits, mostly vegetables, cold type of foods, because of the inflammation that the body is experiencing. So I just became more in tune with my physical body and listened to exactly what it needed. If it needed more vegetables, more fruits, the vitamins that I was taking as well. I did have a couple meds with me, but I needed to take other over-the-counter meds alongside, in tandem with those, to be able to be at least a little bit more at ease with the pain. But throughout it all, it's huge learning curve. I'm still not out of it yet. I'm working on this right side of me, just the arm here, and the nerve pain. So I do have meds for that, but I'm working on that as well. But I've been getting a lot of different types of dreams. Some dreams are like just pretty crazy dreams to the point where I would have to decipher them and interpret them. And I told myself, no, I don't have to do nothing. I don't want to interpret them because it just seems silly. And if anything, it'll come back in a different way, shape, or form, where, if it comes back even more profound, then I'll sit down and I'll interpret it. But yeah, a lot of stuff has happened during this month, last month. So not just what I was going through physically, but at the same time, when I was going through the most excruciating, painful part of it, my father passed. And then after that, one of my tooths cracked when I just bit into a pretzel. And so everything was just one after another. Emotionally, I was more into the pain than anything else. So for me, I know I needed to get through this pain, as excruciating as it was, 24/7. Moaning, groaning, screaming, yelling, you name it. My poor husband had to take the brunt of dragon mode that I happened to be in. But I always made it a point to apologize, to forgive myself, to forgive the hubby. If he didn't get things the way that I wanted it to be done, or whatever. Knowing that he has special conditions himself. But yeah, really challenging time. But at the same time, I was able to observe my behavior, observe how I was responding and or reacting to everything. My gosh, I could have made a show of myself in and of itself. When I think about it in retrospect, I was really a comedy, a hilarious comedy of myself going through this, because I've never gone through such excruciating pain as this. This is the first time. So it's like, okay, let's hit her with that and see how she responds. I know my vibration and frequency was fluctuating, was going down, going in the middle, going a little bit, then going back down. It was crazy. It was so crazy. But I mean, everything's crazy going on already in and of itself. So I made sure that I did not intake a lot of what's going on the outside, because I had a lot of things going on with the self that was priority for me to deal with first and foremost. But at the same time, I started to get ideas, invention ideas of things to create for people that had what I had. I still have those inventions and ideas up here. But I started to receive all different types of creative ideas as well. And so I just keep them in my head, and I can retrieve them at any time. Now, one thing that stood out with a dream that I did have last night is having a sacred space, which I feel is very important for everyone to create your own sacred space. Now, I did make a video about this a while back, maybe a year or so back, and having that sacred space is so important to your wellness and your well-being. And to me, my sacred space is my home, the entire property. And when I was working, I would fortify my sacred space. And as soon as I left the driveway, I was no longer in that sacred space. I was outside of it. But within that sacred space of mine, I would rejuvenate, re-energize, and recharge my batteries, recharge my mental body, emotional, spiritual, and physical body at all times. So I feel that having that sacred space of yours would be very vital for your wellness and your well-being. Now, at the same time, if you leave your sacred space, you could always bring that space to you. Now, how would you do that? Well, it doesn't matter where you are when you leave that sacred space of yours. If you have to go to work, if you have to go shopping, grocery shopping, or anywhere, travel or whatnot, all you need to do is call that space into you. That is all. It is that simple, because you have already acclimated yourself to that sacred space of yours. So all you have to do is bring that sacred space into you, and it is there. Especially if you feel your energy, being lowered, or if you feel stressed or anything while at work, or while shopping, or while with family members, or traveling, or whatnot. You have that ability to draw that sacred space of yours to you and into you. It is always there with you. You always have it with you. That is if you choose to do so. But your sacred space will begin the foundation from your home, where you are, where you do not allow any other energies into that space of yours unless you consent to do so. So for me, having this sacred space here, I don't allow any other energies to influence me in my own sacred space. I don't allow any other individuals to influence me and or get to me in my own sacred space. This is the space of authenticity, the space of empowerment, your authenticity, your empowerment. So you allow whatever it is that you want to allow into that space. Like for me, I would never allow work into my space. I would never allow the work that I was doing, and I was working for a company. I would not allow anything, any thought, anything that I experienced there into this sacred space. It would ruin my sacred space. So I'd leave it on the outside of my driveway. Once I get out there, then okay. But it was not invited into this sacred space, because this sacred space to me was sacred, and it is rejuvenating and recharging for my entire being. And so if you don't have a sacred space, you might want to think about creating one for yourself. If you don't want to create one in your home, you can create one You can go hiking, maybe there. You could go to the beach or the mountains or wherever you feel that will be a sacred space for you, that will bring you wellness and well-being. Now, going back to my healing process of what I went through, listening to the body is very important. Having that relationship and connection to all your bodies, especially your physical body, because your physical body is the one that supports you and holds your spirit and soul. This body has more than likely refined more of what I need to be doing, different types of foods, and that will nourish it a whole lot better. No fried foods. I just basically could not eat anything fried. Nothing really, no drive-through, no nothing. Everything had to be fresh, organic, and this is what the body was telling me all the way. So I never went against it. I'm always listening to my body, because my body knows what's best for me. Yes, I have to take those vitamins and the medications for a specified amount of time, but I was also taking other supplements like probiotic powder greens, probiotic greens powder mix, doing my powder moringa mix as well, doing turmeric shots as well, just helping to relieve and helping to heal the body, because all bodies connect to one another. If my physical body is down, then the rest of the bodies started to go down as well. And I knew it, I felt it, and I responded and I reacted to all of that. So it was like I was everywhere at one time. But yeah, things are changing. I know the shift with everyone is happening, and things need to collapse in order to get that breakthrough. And yeah, I'm double thinking about even taking shots, because I don't like taking shots. I said I would, but you know what? I know what my body needs. And one doctor told me, okay, you take this med, and then you take one of these, and you take 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol, and then you take 600 milligrams of ibuprofen. So that's like 6 pills. And my body's like, I'll let you take 2 Tylenol and that pill, but not that other one. And so I said, okay. So I listened, because the body knows what's best for you. But I'm in that process. I'm still in that process of healing, and it's a process. I'm not as wild as I was during, but I'm not even sure if I'll be able to make my father's funeral services, which is coming up in about 19 days. If I can relieve this part as much as possible, I may be able to go. But another thing that I wanted to let you all know is that he did visit me after he passed. And it's funny because a few days after he passed, It was as if my stepmom, my stepdad, my mother, and my father all appeared. And I was outside at night, and I was trying to ease the pain with the cool air. And I was sitting there, and they all appeared in front of me. And I was looking at them and said, wow, okay, since you're all here, how's about taking this pain away from me? That didn't happen. So I just thanked them for visiting, and that was it. And then the next day, my father visited again. He visited by himself. He just stood at the screen door in my patio, and I knew he was there, and at night. And he spoke to me telepathically. I spoke to him telepathically. I asked him again, since you're on the other side, it's about doing me a favor and healing this pain and getting it off of me. I tried, but nope. That's something that I have to grow through myself. Nobody can take that away. So I kind of got the message there, but I told him how much I loved him, and he needs to go visit my other siblings. I'm good. So, and I know that he's always around. He's just not here physically. He's transitioned back to being his light being. So yeah. I had, those were really nice visits actually. But yeah, to me this was a really busy, painful month. But I'm on that road to recovery right now, and I just wanted to share with you where I'm at now. So thank you all for being here, watching this video, subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please do so. So I'll be back again. I'm not sure when, but yeah. Anyway, guys, love you all, and have a nice day. Aloha.